One of the number one questions that everybody asks is, what tire pressure should I be riding on my bike? Obviously that answer varies. Here's some of the things that it varies on. Varies on the rider weight, varies on the type of trail that you're riding, what that condition looks like, if it's wet, if it's sandy, if it's slick rock, all of those things. It matters if you're riding a hardtail or a full suspension. It matters if the thing is a flat bike. It also matters, and most importantly, if you're running tubes or running tubeless. I'm going to talk to you about tubeless specifically. For me, 200 pounds, I ride fairly aggressively. I like to run somewhere in the range of 20 to 22 PSI. That allows me to get the proper amount of grip without feeling like I'm slipping out on all the rooty, rocky stuff that's in New England that's constantly wet or slippery. Lower the tire pressure, the better grip you'll get, but the more likely you are to roll the tire off of the rim, damage your rim, damage yourself, or just not have stability in general. The higher the pressure is, so if you start to go towards the high 20s, that means you're riding things like, super dry, tacky trail, right? Stuff that doesn't have a lot of rock, isn't very slick. If I know I'm gonna go on a 50-50 ride and I'm gonna ride half road and half mountain, or I'm riding a long ways to the trailhead, I'll usually put 26 to 28 PSI in my tires just so I have a little better efficiency depending on what my end goal is for my ride, right? Obviously you can adjust it once you get to the trailhead, drop it down a little bit, but I try to keep it in that range. Companies like Maxxis, you'll see on the side of the tire 50 PSI. You should never ever, other than setting your tire to your wheel for the first time, be sending it all the way to 50 PSI. It makes no sense unless you're strictly riding on the street. That is just the maximum capacity of this tire. More than that, you will blow it off of the wheel, probably damage the wheel and maybe damage yourself, and I'm speaking from experience. Why would someone go and run more than that? Well, if you're running tubes, you have to run more than that because there is a tube in between the tire and the rim. So every time you roll over a root, a rock, a curb, your tube will get pinched in between the tire and the rim. That is 90% of flats that happen to people are called pinch flats. That is what a pinch flat is. That is why you have to run 30, 35 PSI sometimes on a tubed tire. It just makes more sense because you're less likely to go ahead and puncture your tire rather. And just get a flat in general. Like, pinch flats are not fun. Changing a flat on the side of the trail, I'm sure we've all done. It's horrible. So avoid doing that. Run the proper tire pressure, get the most grip out of your ride, get the most ride out of your tire, whatever we're saying here, and check your tire pressure.